Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daisy and I'm the host of this channel. In this channel we talk about self-growth, self-development and just how to navigate through life. I share things that I struggle with and just relatable conversations. So I hope you people are fine. I hope everyone is okay. And me personally, I am fine. I'm not complaining. I think my life is okay. Today's topic of discussion is something dear to my heart, but I've been planning to talk about it for a long time, but I had no way how to put it into words or find the right thing to say. But today I'm going to talk about friendship, and I think friendship is one of the most amazing relationships we have in our lives. And I think friends are, I don't know how to say, but I'm glad I have the friends that I have in my life, and I want to probably share my own opinion on how an ideal friendship should look like, because I think personally in the past I was just vibing with people. You don't know whether they're your friends or not, or I was also a shitty friend, But I think as you grow older, you learn more, you learn better as you grow older. This character of mine is not good, or I'm being toxic in this friendship, something of that sort. So I think I've learned, I know more right now, and I probably am a better friend now. So I want to start by defining personally who I think a friend is. I think a friend is someone who sticks by you no matter what the situation you're going through. Like, they are there for you through the good, bad and ugly. It's a person whom you don't actually pretend with or try to put a character or try to impress. You're like yourself when you're with them. But I think most of us are actually in bad friendships or like toxic friendships, but we don't know, and we think probably these people that we are hanging out with are actually our friends. But I think a friend is someone who will be happy with you through all. Let's say you are winning, and then they celebrate with you, and when you win, when you're winning, they're also winning. Like, they are celebrating along with you, something of that sort. The first thing I want to say about friendship is, for the longest time, I think ever since I was a child, I think I've been in bad friendships, like toxic friendships. Like, I think an ideal friendship should have boundaries. Like, I'm your friend, but I'm not. You tell me where. Like, boundaries are like a fence. You tell people where they can stop. Like, it's a limit. You're like, okay, I'm your friend, but I don't expect you to do this to me, or I don't expect you to say certain things like this. I don't expect you to do this just because we are friends. Like, you set those boundaries, but me, for the longest time, I've had issues setting boundaries. So, like, you find you're with a friend, but they're doing not very nice things, or they are doing funny things, but you let it slide. You're like, it's okay, she'll change, or like, nah, it's fine, we are friends at the end of the day. But I think setting boundaries is one of those things that makes us have actually very healthy relationships. And I think for the longest time, I thought I'm supposed to have, like, let's say, the friend that I had in, like, Form 2 is the friend that I'm going to have for, like, the rest of my life. But I've come to realize that actually friendships are seasonal. Friendships are really seasonal. And not that everyone who comes to your life is going to remain there for, like, until you die. Maybe, like, people are meant to come and go in your life, but me, I had an issue with, like, if I'm your friend, oh my god, we are going to be friends for forever and ever. Like, I had an issue with actually people living my life, or like you're friends with someone and maybe you don't talk now, but I've realized that in life there are always seasons, and maybe they were to be in your life for that specific season and not for the whole your whole entire life. Because now you putting a limit on yourself that, oh, I'm supposed to have this group of friends until I die or until this stage. It is like limiting your growth, and maybe the friendship was meant to serve that season. And yeah, that's the. And I think the other thing is we actually confuse our real friends with acquaintances, because most of us don't have friends. You will start to count who your real friends are, and maybe they're like 5 or like 4 or like 2 or 1. Yeah, but we think like our acquaintances are people actually the people like probably you know them through a friend, but an acquaintance is someone probably you see and you're like, oh, that's this and this is friend, and you are very comfortable being with them in a group setting, but you would not intentionally plan to meet such a person because you actually have nothing that connects you. But then a friend is, like how I said earlier, someone who you're actually free with and you're your true self with. And you actually, the funny part is we try so hard to please acquaintances than actually our real friends, because we are still trying to, they really don't know the real us, so we're trying to put on the best act, we're trying to put on a performance. But I think the moral of the story is know who your true friends are and separate them from acquaintances. And then the other thing I want to say is quality over quantity. Like how me growing up, I thought I was supposed to have like 30 friends. Or you strive so hard to have so many friends in your life. You probably think it's more fun to have a very big, circle of friends or a very big social life. But I think where I've reached, I actually choose quality over quantity. It's so fine for me to have like my 2 friends that I know are solid than have like 30 or 50 people that I call friends. Because most times we actually think that having quantity is what matters, but if you actually steer down and look at, like, you get to the bottom and see for yourself in all the 50 people you call your friends, who is that one person? Are they the people you can call when, let's say, you have a flat tire or like there is an emergency? You actually zero down and find like there are probably like 3 people or 2 or actually 1. And I think that's okay. Now that I'm growing up, I'm starting to believe in that phrase of less is more, and it's okay. For me, it works for me. And I think the other thing that I have noticed in most of my friendships is accountability. Most times we fail to make our friends accountable for the things they do. Most times a friend is going to do something that is not so nice, but you let it slide instead of holding them accountable and tell them, like, like, let's say, let me give the person a name, like Aloysius. Aloysius, what you did was not so cool. I expected you to do this way, and probably it hurt my feelings. Like, most times we just let things slide, yet it actually builds up at the end of the day. Then after some months, you find that you're actually very resentful, or you're talking bad about the person, something of the sort, yet it's actually not cool. So I think you should hold your friends accountable. If a person does something that is not right, you actually tell them to their face so that they can actually improve and say, oh, I did this and it's not cool. Yeah, instead of like letting things slide. That is actually, such situations are very toxic and not good in the long run. And then I think the other thing that I have grown to understand is sometimes I think the biggest human craving is acceptance. Everyone wants to belong somewhere. Everyone wants, like, we want to belong to a certain community, we want to belong to like a family. Like, that is, I think, the biggest human need, acceptance. We want to be accepted by society, by our friends. So most times we actually stick around people who don't have our best interests at heart, or you're with people who actually don't love you for who you are, or are trying to change you, or they make fun of you because you don't fit to their bar of cool, or you don't have their set of behaviors or something of that sort. So we try so hard to fit in, to be accepted by certain people we call friends, but I don't think that's necessary. Like, vibe with the people who actually love you for who you are, not actually people who want to try to change you to who they think you should be. And I think the other thing that is very common in friendships is sometimes you actually have friends who are toxic, like people who manipulate you, people who gaslight you, or who make fun of you when you make a certain decision in life. I don't think, at the moment it feels fun, like people point out your insecurities, and then after they're like, oh, but we were joking. I don't think that is cool. Like, back then we'd check in such things, and you're like, okay, at the end of the day she's still my friend. But I don't think that's right. You're not supposed to be saying such things to a person you call your friend. And certain times in friendships, some people actually, when you try to air out what you actually feel, they how can I say, gaslight you. Like, I tell you, by the way, you did this and it wasn't right, and then the person will go like, oh, you're just being petty, or it's not a big deal, like, oh, you're being too emotional. I don't think that person is supposed to be your friend, because at the end of the day, my emotions are valid, and I'm allowed to feel whatever I'm feeling. As anything that affects me mentally, I am actually allowed to air it out, and I'm supposed to be with people who actually have my best interests at heart, and people who are actually at the end of the day going to build me and make me grow as a person, not people who are going to put me down. And I think that is it. And it's better to have that one friend than have like multiple people whom you call friends, but at the end of the day you actually deep down know that they are not good for you. And then the other thing that I actually want to say is, stop forcing life on people. Be friends with people who actually want to be friends with you. Like, people who reciprocate the same energy you give them. There are people whom you think they are your friends, and you're like, oh, this person is my friend, and then they go to their friends and they're like, they are real friends, and they're like, oh, this girl is just dying on me. We hung out from school, but she's not my friend. I know her. Be friends with people who actually give you the same energy, because then you will actually know, you will vibe well, and you know that this person is going to be there for me through thick and thin. And then the other thing I want to say is, let's be intentional about the friends we have in our lives. Most times we're just hanging out with people, you're like, you're rolling on vibes, but deep down you know that this person is not your friend. And I think that the only way you can find this out is if you actually ask yourself the question of, why am I friends with this person? No, and you actually have to answer it yourself. Like, you're like, I'm friends with this person because they actually make me a better person. I'm friends with this person because they are emotionally intelligent people. They do this, they are kind. Like, answer all those things. If you ask a person, you ask yourself, why am I friends with this person? And they tell you, I'm friends with you because our parents always go to church together, or our parents pray in the same church, or we went to the same primary school. I think that person is not your friend, but I think that is a person whom you know, because you've answered the how part of how do you know this person, but you've not answered why. why you're friends with this person. And I think most times we take actually the friends we have for granted. Like you know that this person, no matter what you do, there is nothing they're going to do about it. They are always going to be your friend. But I think that is not right. We should actually treat our friends with respect, and we should be grateful that we have the friends that we have in our lives, because some of them are priceless. No matter where you go, they're always going to be your friend, no matter the situation. And back then I thought that I had this entitlement of, oh, this person is my friend and they're not supposed to have any other friends in the world. It's only supposed to be me. It was so childish. Like the codependency of. That's why I think I don't believe in best friend relationships. Like I'm like bestie, bensui. I think those people are like the most toxic people in your lives. Like I've not found any bestie relationship that is healthy from the things that the things that I've had in my life. Like even the people I've connected with, their best friends are always people who, I don't know, like there's so much entitlement. You're not supposed to talk to these people. If you cannot do this without me, or like I'm not supposed to hang out with this person because they are my enemy, or you're there and you can't make independent decisions. If you do something, then I don't even know how to explain this, but I think friendship should be a place of growth. Friendship should be a place where I'm allowed to be myself. I am allowed to be independent. We are not supposed to be enmeshed in each other, like we are intertwined. We were born together. We're supposed to do things together. I think that is codependency. And friendship should be a place where there is freedom of growth. And there's this thing of we are supposed to be talking every day. We're supposed to be holding hands as we move, sharing the same food. But I don't think that is the way it should be. You can allow each other to breathe and check in on each other time and again, and allow people to have their lives out of you. Someone's life does not rotate around you, and it's not supposed to be like that. So you guys, making this video has not been easy, but I hope I actually talked sense. I probably talked sense, and I want to know your valid opinions on what you think, or how the friends, or your relationship with your friends. Yeah. So this is a video I had for you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you in my next video. If you love this content, consider liking, subscribe, and yes, share it.